Hey, what's up guys? Rado here with Jay, and welcome to our third DIRTCAST.
This is my favorite one because we're on the way to go riding.
Yeah,
which is good, and so we're in a mobile studio. It's not our normal garage shoot DIRTCAST.
right. It's a little bit different. We try to play here with a little microphone up here. You don't see it, and hopefully the sound will be fine. We're going slow now, so it's good. And you know what I realized, Jay? We are sitting in the German car going to ride our Austrian bikes. I'm a Slovak guy. You might be the only American thing here, huh?
That's true. That's true. I'm looking forward to riding. We're going back to a spot that we took Rado last year with Spencer. Didn't go so well,
Yep.
but his skills have improved a bunch, and he's confident that he can do it well today.
That's what he's saying, because last time I was confident I will be okay, and I wasn't. So this time I'm saying let's hope for the best. Let's see how it goes. You know, we're gonna go to those hills that last time I just didn't make the biggest hill there, and yeah, today hopefully I'll make it. We're gonna share some footage from the riding in the next video, but yeah, hopefully it will be fun. So we do have few things here on the list we want to talk to you about, and today we don't have questions because it was kind of unexpected, and we are sitting here in the van and we are thinking, hey, let's just do the DIRTCAST right here. So the questions would be for the next episode from my garage. All right, so here what's going on. Hey, yesterday you went riding yesterday with your buddy. What happened there?
I took my buddy, I can't say his name because he's not supposed to be riding dirt bikes, but he's only rides a bike a few times a year. He's been recovering from a bad back injury, and I took him on one of our hill tracks that we do, and he crashed straight away and broke his collarbone like in 3 places, and so he's gonna have to have surgery this week, and his wife's very bummed, and yeah, he's bummed, but his wife's mad, so I guess that's the way it works out.
Is it the same track that I went to?
No, a little different track, but like 10 miles away, a little different place. So that, you know, unfortunately that stuff happens, and I tried to look at it like, well, how did he crash here? How did he crash here? He felt like one of the main reasons he crashed is because he's not riding enough. So he was like, so it's this vicious cycle. If you're not riding as much, then you're not riding in good form and good technique. So you're more scared and cautious, and he thinks that's what was part of the problem.
Yeah, you want to stay safe, you gotta keep riding. That's the only way, right?
Yeah. But the other cool thing I did is I went to a little trade show. Inside Line Direct is this guy, his name's Hapa. He has a little bit of a company that represents a bunch of other companies. They had a bunch of good companies like Liad and Recluse and FXR Gear. Those count with the hydration pack I wear, USWE, I'm not sure how they say it. And they had a new GoPro mount. FMF was there with their new Erzberg silencer for the 300s, which I tried the other day, and it was really good. So it was really cool to see a bunch of these companies, and Cody Webb was there, and I talked to him a little bit about, because he, I guess, is obviously riding a Sherco, but he is wearing FXR gear. And so he was with those guys. It was pretty cool, and he's pretty confident that he can do really well on this bike. And
so is he going to go to Europe this year?
It sounded like some. Yeah. I don't know how much, because they already had one round the other day, so he obviously wasn't at that. But I think he's going to be doing...
He's going to ride West when he goes to Europe? WESS?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Okay. And so he's excited about being able to do more stuff, and it sounds like just at KTM things weren't that great. You know, like you might have thought they were. I would have thought that they would have really liked how much he was doing and everything, but KTM's put a lot of effort into their supercross, motocross programs with the pros, so maybe that's where they're putting a lot of their time and effort. Yeah. So who knows? But anyway, I think he'll do just fine, and he likes the carbureted bike, the hit of the carbureted bike. He's actually said that. He liked the feel.
He was on the TPI last year?
Yeah, a lot of the events. And then 4 strokes at some, of course. But on the 2 strokes, he likes the feel of the carburetor a little bit better.
That's good, yeah. Old school is good, the carburetor on those 2 strokes, right?
But and then it was cool. You just put out the video on the RMZ 250 that we have, and you're liking riding a 250 on the track again.
Yeah, so much better than 450, definitely, because it was just too much power, and yeah, I think getting better, you need something a little bit slower to learn how to keep the momentum, how to be faster, and how not to be lazy. I think that's the most important thing. So I think I will improve quite a bit, hopefully, riding this bike a bunch. That's my goal, as I shared on the video. As much as I can, giving my job, my family, my life, my YouTube channel, I want to ride as much as I can on the track and, you know, be able to improve. And I want to be at the level like Jay is, so I can enjoy that main track and stay like 40 minutes moto and, you know, have fun and then go home, something like that. I'm still not there. I don't feel like 100% confident. On the wet track, yeah, I feel pretty good. But main, there are a few places where I'm very cautious and, you know, I think I need to improve quite a bit.
Yeah, well, you're doing just fine. I mean, there's no pressure, because once you start pressure, then you start trying to do more stuff.
Yeah.
But it was funny when you listed all that stuff that your, you know, family and work and YouTube, you've listed all this stuff. There's one key thing you forgot to mention that you should be doing that you're not doing. Do you remember what it is?
What it is?
You didn't mention it at all, because I think it slips your mind a lot. It was bike maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Like you didn't even list it in all the main things of your life. Like, you don't even list it.
Well, that's in the YouTube channel thing.
Okay, all one thing.
That's included, yeah.
I give him a hard time because he doesn't maybe do as much maintenance as he should. So
Yeah.
Doesn't always go like, oh, what tire should I put on today? What wheel should I bring to this trail ride? You know, should I change my oil every like 50 hours or every 5 hours? What's the difference? Like,
no, it's not like that. I know the rules, but if it's my bike, then you know, sometimes I don't have enough time, or I find another excuse and I just don't do it on time, you know. But when I did a video telling you guys what you should do, then I said every 6 hours, and that's how it should be. But yeah, sometimes on my bikes I would go a little bit over, and on a two-stroke I thought it's okay to go like double digits, but apparently not, right?
yes. So, and then I tell him less video editing and more bike working, because I've been telling him, and he doesn't always agree with me.
You know, finding the balance is not easy.
Well, he can stay up till
everything.
He stays up till 2 in the morning editing a lot of videos and stuff, because he's not messing up his family time. The guy lives on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, I think, a lot of times, right?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So I'm too old for that, or spoiled, or whatever. I think I wear myself out too much during the daytime because I'm going like crazy. So what do we got next? What else we've been talking about? But that Suzuki 250 is good. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about was I've been riding, and you got to ride. I've been riding more on my cone valve suspension and my KYB conversion on the KTMs. And I've been riding more and more on those. And what I'm learning is that these bikes, the suspension, anything besides the air fork on the track is amazing. And today I'm actually going to try my first set of cone valves on a trail bike. I have them on my bike.
Cool.
Got them on yesterday.
Who did them?
Racetech. And so they did the air fork that I've been testing, and then the shock, obviously, that I've been riding for a long time on the 300XCs.
Yeah.
And now I came out here a few weeks ago, and then be able to compare them and be able to tell how I like the cone valve on the trail. Is it as big a difference? I have a feeling it's not going to be as big of a difference as it is on the track. I don't think it's critical for a guy with the trail riding to have to worry about switching the forks. So I like
AER on the trails.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it's plenty good for most people. It's really good. It was, when it came out, we would compare it to the 4CS that was already out there, and it was so much better. You know? Right. Spencer would be riding one bike, and I was riding a bike with 4CS, and it was like, this thing's so bad over the rocks. It would be like, where he would be just gliding over the rocks. But now I've gotten so spoiled, I feel like it could be a little bit better. So that's what I'm looking forward to trying today.
Cool.
When we're out there.
Yeah. We can swap the bikes, but he doesn't like to ride my 04. Actually, you know, he was tempting me like, just leave your 04 at home and we're gonna take my 17 or 18. You can ride that bike. But I said, no, I just want to ride my old good, 302 stroke. I feel good on that bike, so.
Yeah, I can't believe he wouldn't do it. I told him I'd bring another new version, electric start. You won't have to kick it, because we're going to get in some tough spots today where he's going to be like,
yeah. But you should take it easy today. Last time we were a little bit.
I had a bad crash out there about almost 3 weeks ago, and I tore up my thumb. It pulled all the skin off my thumb, and I had bruised my ribs really bad.
It's actually amazing how it healed.
Man.
I'll show you the picture. It's pretty nasty. So if you are eating something, then stop.
It healed up really good, but I kept ointment on it every day and kept it out of the dirt. And then when I'd work in the garage, I kept it covered up and everything. So my wife's paranoid about me getting an infection or anything because it was fully open.
Yeah.
But my ribs, it could have been a lot worse, and it was really my own fault for crashing. I was following a guy, and even at 50 years old, I don't use my brain sometimes, and I was behind a buddy of mine, and I got off the trail a little bit. We were kind of in some fresher trail, and I was like, I was gonna get alongside of him, like being silly, and there was some grass, weeds covering a rock.
Yeah.
Hit that rock, boom, and it could have been a lot worse. I'm really lucky that it wasn't. Knocked the wind out of me, obviously, and I mean, I thought I broke my hand. I was worried, broke my back. And my back was really sore.
Yeah.
But my buddy Drew, he was a fireman. He picked me up, did the cracked my back like a chiropractor, and it was awesome. Did that twice, and back's perfect.
Nice.
Ribs are still sore, but rideable now. Then I've been riding a little bit, well, quite a bit, I guess. But
so you will be a little slower today, which might be a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. So and today it's just gonna be the two of us. Usually we have a group of, 3's minimum usually out here, but we'll have 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. It's kind of bigger group because a lot of guys want to come. But we're in the midweek, and we didn't really promote it to a lot of guys to come. So that part's good.
Cool. And hey, another thing, I got that new intro that is now you guys saw it maybe in like my last 3-4 videos, and I didn't talk about it, and I love it. My friend Brian did it, the same guy who did my review video, and I think he did an amazing job again. But it's a 15 seconds or maybe 16 seconds, but we spent an entire day from 8 a.m. all the way to 8 p.m. doing that thing, because I had to move my garage to an empty warehouse, to have enough room to set everything up. So we were moving stuff, and then we set everything. We actually duct taped the lights on the top of the ceiling to have good lighting for the video, and it's just a lot of preparation. And then finally we shoot like, I don't know what, maybe 60 seconds of the footage all together. And after that we edited and made it this 16 second.
It was so cool the way it came out, but like you said, it's so much work to do that stuff on a top level production like that. It's amazing, but it's amazing the way it came out. It looks so professional, looks like Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm really happy how it came out, and I'm gonna have that for another years to come. So that will be cool. And also maybe you noticed on the video there that I'm kind of showcasing 2 companies. Also have them here, Fly Racing and Factory Link. So these are my 2 sponsors that I'm really grateful for 2020. Fly Racing and quick turn left here. Fly Racing and Factory Links will sponsor my channel, and I think this is like the best way for me really to be creative and to work, to not annoy you with pushing some products on you and asking you to buy this or that, or doing some reviews from Amazon, because it's not a bad thing to earn a little bit of money on a channel, but at the same time I don't want to become too annoying or sell out or something like that. So I think the best thing is to have somebody who sees value, and I'm grateful for that, who sees value in the channel to be behind and help me a little bit out, so then I can just focus on creating the stuff and promoting their products as well. So I think that's the best way. For sure, I think it's really cool, and they got some good products for you to work with, which is cool. I've been running Fly stuff for years, and the guys are really cool, and it's some nice stuff. So that part's cool, and it's gonna allow you to be able to do more stuff and more bike builds and all that kind of stuff. Exactly, because it's a lot of money to have doing all that, and people don't realize how much money you spend on computers and all the film, the cameras and everything. It's very expensive to keep everything going, so that part's really cool. Right, it does take some some finances to run the YouTube channel on a certain level, but it's not like I'm getting super rich from the sponsors. It's if I quit my job, I wouldn't be able to support my family doing just YouTube, and I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to do it as a business, but having somebody behind that helps. That's really great, so I'm grateful for that. You got an electric bike from KTM recently, right? Yeah, we they have a new, I forgot the name of it, SE5 I think is the name of it, and it's adjustable heights and everything. I have a video coming out on it. I shot it the other day with some kids, and I think I'll put the video out before this comes out, so we'll see. But I don't want to give away too much, but
you know, I've been somewhat against electric bikes.
Me
And
too. I don't know.
yeah, I don't see so long term. But let me back up here. This bike is really surprising at how good it is. Like, it's really good. Like, in the fastest setting, as tiny as that thing is, it's like too much for you and I to ride in my backyard.
Really?
Like, I can tell you that right now. So that part's cool. There's some other things that aren't as cool. It's expensive.
How much is it compared to?
It's $5,000.
Oh wow.
Now, compared to two-stroke's a little bit less, but not much. But you know,
how long does it last, the battery?
we did like 45. It all, of course, depends on how hard you're riding and maybe how deep is stuff, how much load you're putting on the engine.
Okay.
But 45 minutes, a few different kids taking turns, no problem. And then charged up pretty quick. 15 minutes, and then rode again for another half hour plus.
Okay.
So
But you gotta carry a generator with you if you go to the track, right?
yes. So if you go to the desert or out to a riding area with no electricity, you're plugging in. So this thing might appeal to a lot more. I don't know that it's really appealing to the gas engine audience. I think it's maybe trying to get a new audience, a new type of people, maybe in their backyard, maybe some rich people.
Yeah.
They own Teslas and Priuses and stuff, and maybe something, a toy for their kid to play with. Now, it's a very expensive toy, but these are people that you know, a lot different than you and I, and you know, used to you know, that like $5,000 for a toy isn't a big a deal.
Yeah.
So
Remember I had that electric thing?
yes,
That thing was like 6,000. Whatever utility, bike, car or something like that.
Yeah.
Two-wheel drive. So that's the same stuff. Just really for people who have a lot of money and they want to have something cool that nobody else has, then they would go out and buy something like that.
yeah. So I see a real future for the next size up or so of this bike, like to be like a 110 size and even like a 125F. You know, I see it taking the place of those play bikes. You go, well, it's honestly going to be like almost twice as much money as a play bike. Like if you were to get like a Honda 125F or a 150F or whatever. But if they can make an electric bike like this, there's a lot of people that think that would, even at twice as much money, like it for their backyard deal, and maybe it brings some people into this sport that wouldn't be otherwise. I don't think you're going to convert very many people over from gas to it, but you might bring in new people to electric bikes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they live in a nice neighborhood or quiet deal with horses around it, whatever it is. They could have quiet electric bike, and they have money. They don't care. As far as gas people, I think it's going to be very slow because it's you know, obviously just we've talked about a lot of the negatives of electric. But there's some potential there. I hope, like, and the riding we're going to do today, like we talked about, we could never take electric bike where we're going to go today. Yeah. Like never. I don't see that happening. Maybe not while I'm alive. I don't think. And so we'll see.
All right. What else do we have here?
You know, radiators are a constant problem when I fix up these old bikes. And ICW is in North Carolina, and they're one of the best at straightening the radiators, and then he puts braces on them to make them stronger so they don't bend like that. But radiators have gotten very expensive over the years. I used to be able to just buy Honda radiators like at my discount for like $90 to $100. So it wasn't really worth fixing them. We would just go throw a new one on. If it was $90, it was like throw a new one on. We throw some radiator braces, some works connection on, and throw some new ones on. We're good. But now they're like $300 typically a side. You know, they're $250 to $300. They can be very expensive radiators. So getting them fixed is key to a lot of the project builds I do, and they do a great job. Yeah,
my friend from Canada, I think you are watching, right? Hi. He got his Beta. He smashed the radiator on the Beta. And I told him, hey, just get in touch with ICW. They'll do a good job. And I think it's like $130 fixed, shipped to Canada, something like that. So he's going for that because the brand news are like a couple hundred, 400, something like that. So yeah, it's a good deal.
And yeah, he does a real good turnaround. Now, I built this is the cone valve 350 that you got to ride before we redid it. We redid it for, I was going to say Racer X by mistake, but it's for Vital MX with David Pingree. So it's the first bike we got to build with him, and he really loved the bike. Twisted did the mapping and some of the work there, and the cone valve stuff that Racetech did was just amazing. So
did I ride it like this?
Yeah, with that suspension. You rode that suspension.
And the engine, did I ride?
So just like that. So really good, awesome package. I love the bike. And even on these hill tracks the other day, I was riding my 250 because I was all worried about, like, I need to do the long, but in the 250 I still feel stronger, but the suspension's better than 350. But I rode the 350 yesterday some more, and I'm like, I think I could ride the 350. So I'm going to spend a little more time on the track.
It's hard to choose, like, if you have 3-4 identical bikes, I mean, for the same purpose, like if you have 3 motorbikes in the garage, how do you pick one? Huh?
Yep.
Like, do you like go through all of them, or?
That's why we only have one wife. You can only choose. So then there's no easy choice. There's no choices.
Exactly.
So I have too many choices on what bike to ride that day, what type of bike. So one of the things I was going to talk about is the new KTM's. I got one of our fans wrote us, and he had some questions about this new. He has a 2020 XC 300 XC.
Okay.
And what KTM kind of did some junky stuff. Obviously they took away the Kickstarter, which is a backup, which is a bummer. But they also did some stuff to the wire harness, which really stinks. For the last long time, they had a little plug-in, and you could just plug in your fan.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Oh, really?
No more. You have to run a wire all the way to your battery, like from Trail Tech. And we run the Trail Tech fans. You can't just plug it right in like you used to. Like on my 19 that you saw in the garage that I'm finishing up, that one you can plug it right in.
Even on my Husaberg 2010, I just plugged it right in.
Plug it right in.
KTM stuff, yeah.
So that they got rid of that on the harness, and then up front, you had spots for lights and for on-off switch. Gone. Now you can see, like now it just has one black plug, which we're trying to figure out what it even does. There's only one black plug, and that's it. So I'm working with some guys at KTM to figure out what that one black plug does. It's one single big plug, and I'm not confident that we're going to be able to just plug a light onto this thing easily. So I'm trying to find out for sure how we're going to be able to wire a headlight onto these, and if it's going to, because there should be enough power to supply a headlight like it's been doing, because it's the same system, stator and everything. And we've been running a decent sized headlight from Baja on the 17, 18, 19s, no problem. So now with the fuel injection, maybe they don't want us running any headlight on there to draw more from the battery and messing up the, maybe. So we'll find out.
How about 2020 4-strokes? Do they still have the wires there?
No. Yeah, the 4-strokes have got rid of it a while ago.
Oh, okay.
So you can't plug in on a XCF. Can't do it. You have to get like an EXC that already has everything.
I see.
No more of the good old days.
Is the stator the same power, or are they?
No, so the 4-strokes like XCF don't have a strong enough stator typically to run headlights, which is kind of a real bummer. So on the 2-strokes they did. Which is kind of crazy to think about. But the 4-stroke, since it's based on the motocross bike, they did everything to get that weight down, and so you don't have a good enough stator there.
Yeah, because the wire harness is so heavy, right? You would feel it definitely.
Yeah, so but they just trimmed everything down to make it like a race bike, and that's what and everything like we talked is really based on SXF sales, motocross bikes, and then the XCF is based off of that SX, and it's not. It should be, kind of the other way around, but
yeah. Okay, I see you have a bunch of engines here on the bench. There's one thing I want to say that I have a surprise build that I'm not going to tell you yet what it is or what I'm going to do about it, but we're going to do 2 builds at once. I'm going to build the YZ250 that I'll be starting soon, and there is another bike I will be building simultaneously with the YZ250, but I'm going to talk about it probably in like a week or two. I'm going to show you the bike. Right?
Very cool. So
he already has the engine on his bench.
Yeah, so we have a ton. I told Brado I had 5 bikes down to the frame at once, which is I usually like to have 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I like to have 1 down to the frame, and then it takes a couple months. Everybody goes, how long does it take? But I have lots of other stuff going on, so it's not like I'm working on it every day. But I'll send the frame to get powder coated, the suspension to get done, we get the engine done. So and I round up all the parts, and we try to put it all together. So this week I got 2 bikes built up. I got 02 CR250, got the engine done recently and got everything together. We got it at least where it's a rolling chassis now. We started it. We actually haven't got to ride it yet. Waiting on a couple little things to get it where we can go ride it and jet it, make sure everything's good. And then I do the finishing touches, chain and sprocket and the wheels and plastic and graphics, all that. So I first just make it rideable. I get them going. And then we'll go ride it with the stock tires and wheels on there just to go make sure it's good. And when you're dealing with a 17-year-old bike, you want to make sure everything's good. And we, change all the bolts. We got new bolts from that company, Bolt.
Yeah.
Change a lot of the bolts and grease everything. Remember to grease everything?
Remember,
yeah.
Hey, and I have a question that also you guys had. How do you properly brake in a brand new bike, 2-stroke or 4-stroke?
So 4-stroke, well, both bikes. The main nowadays you really don't have to do a lot. So with the 2-stroke, your worry is a little bit more about jetting. So if you're running too lean, especially, you'd be worried about seizing it or clearances being too tight. So typically, if it's everything's set up well, a half hour of just putting around.
So it's not like heat cycles and heat it up, let it cool, heat it up.
Half hour putting around. So basically, your full speed would be just fine.
Thanks.
No, it's fine. So just putting around, like I usually just go around, and I actually have kids that help me, and I'll send them, and they like to go, hey, go right over by the freeway, up and down the dirt road, and come back in 15 minutes. They go do that. They come back. I don't like doing it, but they enjoy doing it. So
right.
Yeah.
So nothing special needed. Like you don't have to go through these heat cycles. Even when Eric Gore, probably know his name, he built my 2-stroke engine, and he also told me just put everything in, ride it softly first 20, 30 minutes, and then just go for it. You're good to go. So that's apparently what it takes to break in a brand new dirt bike. I mean, engine, brand new engine.
If the clearances are set up correctly, that's going to be fine. And the main thing is when you come back, is you're looking around the bike to make sure you don't have a loose hose clamp. Like when you do a whole bike, and you might have a loose hose clamp. You might have a leak somewhere at a gasket or something. So that's what I'm looking for. Make sure there's no bolts falling off.
Or you might lose your rear fender.
Right. So that's what I do is I'm looking around, and I usually find something. Honestly, we usually find something that is loose or not on correctly. So while it's running up, I'll rev it up and look around, and that's a good thing to do whenever you build up a bike from just a pile of parts.
Yeah. When I finished my RMZ 450, we went on the milestone, and David Pinkney was riding it. He lost almost all the balls from the rear fender because
it wasn't his fault.
No, it was my fault.
Oh,
of course. But then, you can see on the video it was like going back and forth, up and down. So yeah, that was fun. My fault. I didn't tie it up strong enough. Right?
Yeah.
What else do we have here?
But so when you do those bikes, it can be good, and that's the O2, the CR250 we talked about. We already talked about our hill tracks a little bit.
And we have this cool GoPro mount.
Yeah, that GoPro mount, I didn't get to run it on our trail day, but I had a big trail day. I'm going to put a video out of where we went, and I had like 5 guys, like Gary Sutherland, my buddy Kelly. We had a bunch of us out there, and I wish I had that GoPro mount because I was running it underneath the visor, so you can actually hear me, and it cuts down on the wind noise. You and I agree that the new GoPro, the wind noise is terrible.
Yeah, terrible. If you put it on the top of your helmet.
Terrible. Yeah. But if it's hidden, it's a lot better, but it's still not as good as it should be. They have some problems there they need to fix, but
you can put some kind of wind blocker on the GoPro itself.
I think I saw somebody with one on the other day. Now that you mentioned that, they had like it was like black foam almost.
Yeah.
Because Adam had one.
It has 3 microphones, so you have to slide it over a whole face of that thing.
That's what it was. I didn't recognize what that was, so I saw one of those. What's the name of that company? Dango.
Yeah, Dango Design.
Really cool mount, and you could use it like in your garage.
Yeah.
And then on your helmet, it clips on. You think, oh, that's not going to hold. That's not going to hold. I think it would hold just fine as long as you don't crash.
Exactly.
Like if you crash, it's probably going to obviously
Actually,
fall.
that's what we're using right here. We have this holder clip on the dash here.
Take a photo of it.
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
You can use mine, or you use yours. Yeah, we'll take a photo of it so you can actually see how we set it up in here, and get a little idea.
Okay, and it's cool because it clips on the helmet, and you know many times I do these reviews with my buddy Dallas, and then I have a GoPro on, and then if we want to switch, and I want to be in the shot, and he will be riding, then we have to put GoPro on his helmet, and then check the angles and everything, and it takes forever. And with this clip on, I can just take it off, put it on his helmet, and we can going in 10 seconds. And another thing, good thing about this GoPro mount is that you can take it off and just hold it in your hand and do a little vlogging. That's it's also a big plus, because normally I would just hold my helmet and it's kind of bulky, right? So it's really cool little thing for your GoPro.
And they have little mounts. You can actually put a mount and then you screw it in, and it can hold something with a 1/4-inch thing that could hold your camera or your phone.
Okay. So you
set up other things on it too. It doesn't necessarily just have to be a GoPro. It could be other things you could rig up on there if you wanted to as well.
You know, Jay, I think we should experiment with an external microphone for GoPro. you need to get the adapter, it's like 50 or 60 bucks, and then you can do external mic and do a wind stopper only. Or you can even put mic inside the helmet. That's what I had on the old GoPro, and the sound was pretty good. And I could talk, it was very clear, and there was no wind noise as well.
How was the sound when you were talking? Did you try talking into this the other day when you rode?
Yeah, it's okay, but it's not so good because these new GoPros, they got 3 microphones, and one takes over the other sometimes. And when that happens, it sounds like you're talking from a cave or something. I really don't like that.
So that's pretty cool. I was gonna.
I think the external mic would be good. You did the RM 250.
Oh, that thing came out so nice.
Yeah.
So that thing finally ran. We shot it a long time ago, and that thing finally went up on Racer X. So I can have you put a link on it and maybe just show a photo of that bike.
Yeah, I'll show you.
But that bike was a full frame up. We did everything to that bike, and gorgeous. And Ping loved it. And for some reason, old Suzukis, when you fix them up, and it's just the yellow, they look amazing. Everybody likes yellow bikes for some reason. When I get guys that don't even ride, they like from church and stuff, they come by my house, and they go, I could have all these brand new 2019 or 2020 bikes in my garage, and they see a yellow bike that's 10 years old, they go, I like that one. Like they see, it's really funny.
Yeah.
So they always like the yellow one.
Did you put a Polysport restyle kit on it, or you?
No, we just applied maybe triple clamps to fit the new front fender on, and we just cut the side number plates.
Okay.
I think since we're running the UFO plastic, that's what we were doing.
You know, actually, before I bought the YZ that I'm building now for $1,000, right? Was it 1,900? I think it was 1,000. And so just like 3 weeks before, I was going to buy RM, 2003 RM for 950. I think it was running, but something was wrong with it. But the guy sold it the day I was going to pick it up, so that's why I have YZ now. But yeah,
I think the YZ is a good bike. You'll be happy with that bike. So the last story that I have is this right here. This is kind of a cool story. Our buddy Drew, he works with me and lives down by me. Poor kid. I helped him build a YZ 250 two-stroke that I've got some videos on. You guys have seen it. We used it. He went on a trail ride with us to Candy Meadows when Arado went. And I think your guys' bikes were close to the shootout.
Yeah.
Well, his bike got stolen, unfortunately, and stealing bikes sucks. And unfortunately, it's a big part of California.
Yeah.
I tell guys, like at my place, I keep my bikes locked up. I shouldn't tell everybody that, and they know they got to bring cutters when they break in. But if you're watching this, you're not stealing bikes. So you got to. I run a cable through my bikes in the garage. Like today, they're locked up. I always lock them up, even though I also have insurance on my bikes. It's not that expensive. If I get Progressive or Geico, I don't get paid by either one. But that's what I.
So when they steal the bike, you get an insurance money back.
Yes, and my buddy Kelly actually had one stolen up in Bakersfield, and they paid him off. He did really well.
Cool.
So it was really good.
What do you think is it if I have one bike and
I would think one bike's probably around 100 to 120 a year. So it depends on how new a bike.
That's not bad. Something to consider, guy. If you live in the area.
No, I've got like 5 bikes or 6 bikes on there, and I got rid of what do they call uninsured motorists because they insure them like a street bike kind of deal, and I really just want it for the theft. And I think with like 4 or 5 bikes, I'm only paying like $180 or $200 for the whole year for all my bikes.
Do you have to list the VIN numbers or something?
Yeah. I give them all the VIN numbers of the bikes, and then they can tell exactly what bike it is. You know, my EXCs are on there.
What if you borrowed a bike to me and somebody stole from my garage? Are you covered?
I would think so.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I sometimes worry about.
Right. That's what I worry about it when I have people's bikes at my house. They don't have insurance, and I'm like, man, I don't like having your bike at my house because it gets stolen and it's my fault, and like kind of a bad deal. So his bike got stolen, which is a drag, and but he doesn't have much money. He's just going to school and everything, going to college. But he stays on OfferUp, and in California, OfferUp's getting a little more popular than Craigslist, and it's a little easier to use too. Although not as many people are on it as Craigslist. Yeah. But he's on OfferUp. 5 minutes after this ad goes up, he sees the CRF 250 2007 for $700.
That's pretty cool.
And it's blown up. The engine's apart, but the engine's apart, and they have all the parts. Now, I'm sure a few things are going to be missing, but I got a picture here. We got everything laid out. I'm going to do a video talking about what we do to get this thing running and kind of what we would spend to get it running. So I kind of assessed everything. The head, the cases were all in really good. Nothing was damaged where it was ruined. The head, one of the seats has a little tiny crack in it. We're going to have Millennium fix that.
What caused the seizure?
The crank went out. And in bikes, the bike just probably had too much time, and the cranks go out in 4-strokes. Now, a lot of these 4-strokes, I have another video coming out about some 4-strokes aren't worth fixing. It's too costly. Even with our good deal on hot rods, cranks, and getting pistons and wrench rabbit kit, it can still be where it would maybe cost you, $1,000 or maybe like $1,000 to $1,500 in parts for a bike that's only worth $1,500 when it's running.
Yeah,
that gets very tough. So that's something to think about when you're fixing an old 4-stroke. But we're going to be able to fix this thing at a reasonable price, and I think he'll have a bike. So he ended up only paying $500 for the bike, which was cool.
That's cool.
So he was like, the guy, he's good. Yeah, if you come right now, and it had a clean title and current registration, which is really nice in California. I said, because he was going, I said, hey, make sure it's got the title, and he sent me pictures, and registration's current. So it was a really cool guy that they just didn't want to spend, because they weren't going to do the work themselves, so they were going to buy everything at retail, and it was going to be $1,500. They're like, hey, we'll just get the $500 now, and they'll go on to whatever they're going to do, and helped and drew out. So I thought it was really cool. Now, a lot of places that people live don't have as many opportunities for that. In California, there's way more used bikes for sale.
So people sometimes say that I'm lying on the video when I said I bought it for $900, but I really did. I don't make it up. That's how. If you keep looking on Craigslist or other offer app, then you will come across something that is really good deal. And if you go quickly, then you can pick it up for a really good price. And
especially in the summertime in California, like when you got yours, people don't sell as many bikes. It's hot. People aren't buying bikes like that. And in California, a lot of people don't have cash. It's funny, you think of California, but everybody's really tight on money because it's expensive to live.
Because we pay a lot for gas.
Gas is expensive. Everything's expensive. And so no one has cash. They want to finance everything. And so it's hard to sell bikes. And so even on cheap blown up bikes, it can be expensive. So
funny you mentioned that offer app and Craigslist, because like a month ago, the amount of bikes that is on Craigslist dramatically decreased. Like I don't know, maybe like 80% less than what it used to be. Like I check it all the time, and now I check and I see the same bikes I saw yesterday, like up.
It used to be like 4 or 5 pages a day.
Yeah.
Now it's not even a half a page.
Exactly. And that's because they charge $5. Okay. If you want to put the bike up for sale, you gotta pay $5. And I think there is so many people that would be just discouraged, and then they don't post it on the Craigslist anymore.
So I think we'll see more stuff on OfferUp and those types of things.
I should probably start checking OfferUp now.
OfferUp and Facebook. But
Marketplace, right?
Yeah, those types of things are catching more popularity because people don't even want to spend the $5.
Yeah. But then it's so convenient, and you already know that it works. For me, it's I kind of like the same way when something works. I want to keep it that way. So Craigslist was working for me for years, but now it looks like probably I would have to go somewhere else. It's just you don't have a lot of bikes these days on a Craigslist.
Hey, so I think this has been my favorite DIRTCAST because I didn't have to drive over to your house, and we're getting 2 things done at once. We're driving to riding.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna stop and grab you some snacks.
Cool. Let's do it every time.
Every DIRTCAST.
every time we go riding, we can do a DIRTCAST like once a month or so. Let's see. All right, guys. I guess that's about it for today. We have like 40 minutes or 35 minutes of footage. That should be pretty fun. Let us know again if you have any questions. We will answer those questions in the upcoming episode. Maybe in my garage, maybe in a car. I'll get ready. I promise. Better than today. And anything else, Jay, you want to say?
Well, if anybody's still watching at this point, they are our #1 fans, because exactly. I don't know that anybody could watch this long unless they're maybe listening to on their drive to work or something. But yeah, thanks for watching. And what do you say at the end here?
You guys are awesome, and don't forget, whatever you do, stay motivated.
Stay motivated.
See you guys later.